You want to kick it off?
Yeah, I'll kick things off. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Budgie Smugglers. I'm comedian Stephen Bradshaw, and I'm joined live all the way from WA. It's Jeremy Dooley. How you doing, Jules?
Buddy.
I miss
Jules?
you. It's me. Did I say Jules?
I think so. Did you? I don't know. It's the delay here. Mate, it's good. I'm exhausted. We had a 17-hour drive yesterday.
Yuck.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been cool. How are you, man? What's been happening? Tell me things. How's Melbourne?
Oh, it's been pretty chill. The place isn't the same without you. Not going to lie. But what have I been? Because it's been a couple of weeks, right? I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. Last week, pretty chill. What did I do? I did Foots Loose for the first time this year.
How was that?
I was doing some new material, brand new. I wrote that morning for my I got some solos coming up in the next couple of months. So I was working on brand new material that was out of context for crowds that were not, I wouldn't say they were on fire, all 7 of them. So kind of sucked a lot of confidence in thinking about cancelling those shows now. But it was good just to sort of start the process of that. And week before, I don't know, 2 weeks feels like forever ago. I know I was in Geelong with Kirsty Wiebeck. That was a great show. Packed house at the Nash. And yeah, just plodding along. But what about you? You've had a huge 2 weeks. Give us the laydown of what that's been like, Jules.
Yeah, it's been pretty intense. Got in on I think it was a Monday night. I landed like late night flight into Perth, and then got to where I was staying at the promoter's place, and then we were up. My alarm went off at 3:30 a.m. On the Tuesday morning, and we had I think it was a 12-hour drive to the first gig, which was great. But I was a zombie, so that was it's been cool. Like, we've been really just traveling basically from Karratha to Perth, and there's a couple of little crisscrosses, a bit more coastal, a bit more inland, but it's basically been desert. A lot of the gigs, a lot of corporates, a lot of mine sites. So it's been really intense, and ended with a couple of pub gigs in Newman and then in Karratha on Saturday night. So it's been wild, and the mix of comedians has been cool. It's been interesting. We've had a pretty solid mix. Myself and Chris Shin have been the mainstays for the touring element of it, and then we've had Nikki Justice come in for a couple of gigs, Simone Springer, great Perth comic, come in for a couple of gigs, and Tate Middleton for the last week of the Outback leg. So it's been good. Eating a lot of servo food. That hasn't been so good. I ate a Parma at a pub in the middle of, I think it's considered the tropics, I think, where that is, that part of WA. We're in the desert, though. We're in the desert, maybe borderline Pilbara. I'm not really sure exactly what you consider it. But it was basically cooked medium rare, which is not what you want for a Parma. Because I started off, I'm like, okay, it's fine. It was enough. And then I had another bite. Again, it's fine. That's enough. The third bite, I'm like, the texture is a little bit different here. And then I had a look at it. I'm like, whoa. And then I cut around it. I'm like, yeah, it was basically, still clucking on my plate. So that was fun.
We're inland, low population type area, or?
Yeah, but there was 2 pubs. So in this town, one pub does the food, and the other pub does the booze.
Yeah, okay.
Both owned by the same person, apparently. So when the food pub shuts, everyone goes across the road to the other pub for beers.
And this was at the food pub?
The specialty.
No. That was rough.
But otherwise, mate, the gigs have been fun. It's been a blast.
Sorry, let's go back to the real reason everyone tunes in, which is the food. What was the next? Did they give you a new Parma? Were you like, that's it, I'm not going near Parma here again? What was the reaction like?
Well, so I couldn't finish it. So I didn't want another attempt at it because
Yes,
it was
of course.
State of Origin was on, so the pub was getting slammed.
Yeah.
So it took ages. Like, it was one of those places. I think they maybe only had like one cook on. So like everyone was getting their meal. There's only 3 of us on the table, but we all got our meals like separately. So I just had my chippies, and then I went back to the hotel. And I use the term hotel very loosely. I was staying in a donga in a caravan park this night, and the room could best be described as what I think maybe a was a low security prison style room, and there was a bed, and not much else happening in there. Some questionable stains on some of the things, but at the previous place where I'd done a gig, they had like food that you could take. So I took some like cup of noodles and went to sort of the main sort of kitchen area of this campground and used that kettle, because the one in my bedroom, there was no toilet in the bedroom / whole room. So it was one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know if it's just been water that's been boiled in this kettle. So I thought the main kitchenette one would be safer. So that was my saving grace. But then what I did was, because I was worried that then I was going to, when you first throw up when you're drinking and then you can't have that booze anymore.
Yes.
I was worried that I was going to have that with Palmer's. So then I had Palmer's like the next couple of nights.
It's like conquering your fear.
Basically.
Yeah. Smart man. Smart man.
Yep.
Oh. Any other highlights?
We went snorkeling yesterday in a place called Coral Bay, which was cool.
Beautiful. Love a snorkel.
It was great on the Ningaloo Reef, I think it's called. I don't know. That was great. It was you can walk like from the beach, like you just walk out into the sand, and it's maybe like 15 meters from where the water touches the sand, and then it's a full coral reef, and got the snorkels out, saw some cool shit, and that was about it.
Lovely.
Gigs have been good.
I was about to ask. Talk to me about the mining site versus, say, a pub gig over there.
Yeah, so the mine sites were generally, they were a mixed bag. So some mine sites have different restrictions on, what the people who work there can drink at the end of their shift.
Yep.
Some don't. It was a lot. I sort of went, sometimes I would go first in the lineup, sometimes I'd headline, depending on the night. And when you're going first at these gigs, you are really jumping on a grenade for the rest of the lineup. So I think, at the start of it, because I like to go first, but we decided that we'd swap everything so that everyone at least had a chance to have at least a couple of good crush gigs in there. But yeah, it was good. They're tough because they're not all indoors. I think we had, of the mine sites, we had one place that was indoors, and the rest are all sort of like outdoors, undercover but outdoors. And you never know how many people are going to turn up. You might have 150 people. You might have 10. You just have no idea because it's not compulsory for them. So that adds a whole bunch of different variables to the equation, and the weather and how tough their shifts have been. And then we had to do gigs for the people coming off night shift. So headlining a gig at 6 a.m. was a weird experience. Great show. But it was just really different. You get a lot of heckles, which I don't have any issue with, but can throw people sometimes. But it's all in good fun. The pub gigs were both wildly different. So I headlined one at Newman Hotel which was on Friday night, just gone. And that was cool, except that there was this massive table at the start of the show of 30. And I was like, great, this is fantastic. We thought there would be like a packed, it was in the beer garden, so totally open air gig. Next to the stage was a playground that was full of toddlers, like, having a play, squealing, making a racket, but it was heaving at the start. But the table of 30 did not know that there was comedy on. And when they made the booking, they thought they were getting a function room because it was for a birthday party. So they left after the first act. So when I walked out on stage as the headliner, I'm like, where is everyone? So that was good. And then the gig on the Saturday night in Karratha, the promoter wanted to start the gig straight away. And that meant that when I went on stage, the footy was still on. Ooh. And Fremantle was playing, and I'm in WA, a lot of Fremantle fans. And they turned off the screens as I was walking onto the stage.
Oh, no. So you walked onto a raucous of booze?
Oh, they were not stoked on that one. Like there was like probably 50 people at the front of the room who were really there to watch the show. But the rest of the pub was not, and they were not stoked about it. Thankfully, like I didn't like I had an okay set. Acoustics in that venue were horrendous, but thankfully by the time the headline act got on stage, all the people who were annoyed with me had gradually trickled out. Some left at the end of my set, some left at the end of Tate Middleton, who was in the middle at the end of his set. So by the end of it, it was a great gig, but at the start, it was jumping on grenades.
Timing is everything in comedy, Dools.
Absolutely. You just hope that you get along with everyone in the car. That's sort of the main thing on these trips.
Yes. How have those 14-hour car rides been in the middle of nowhere?
Oh, lots of, give us your top 5, XYZ, best movies, worst movies, best franchises, travel, dream festival, concert lineups.
Got you.
All that sort of stuff.
Nice.
It was good.
All right. Lovely. And when are you back in Melbs?
So I got another week here, but I'm just playing in Perth, I think, for this week. So I'm playing a couple of club shows and at the Comedy Lounge. So I'll be back on Sunday.
Lovely.
One more week.
Very, very good. Well, there's a lot been happening in sport as well, Jules, while you've been away. Have you been able to sort of keep up with what's going on while you're in these long car journeys?
Look, a little bit, not as much as I would like. A lot of football talk, a little bit of golf talk by me. That's when I was thankful that I wasn't the one driving, because I would have driven off the road from falling asleep.
Well, we've got lots of golf to talk about today, so you can have a nap.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Well, I am tired, so let's get stuck into it.
Well, speaking of sport, actually, one thing I did, I was at your old stomping grounds yesterday, Jules, doing some court announcing for the mighty Coburg Giants.
Yes.
Top of the table, the Division 1 men's. They're on fire. They had I got to see a couple of their imports firsthand up close. They absolutely destroyed the Bulleen Boomers, which was fun, and got to catch the under 23 men's and the senior under 23 ladies as well. So it was good to do a little bit of announcing and a little bit of sport mixed in there with I guess a microphone in my mouth. So perfect blend of stand up and this podcast.
Yeah, what a great club, the Coburg Giants.
I did. I was speaking to their sort of GM who spent a bit of time in the US and was on a sort of a pre-season. I forgot his name. Shit, he doesn't listen to this podcast, so it's fine. And I did mention, do you remember a big sort of power forward type called Jeremy Dooley? He said, no, been here for 20 years. I don't remember. No, I forgot to ask. But any good memories from your time at the Coburg Giants, Dawes?
I would say hitting a game winner get us into the playoffs. That was good.
Yes.
I can't remember if that was age group or my first year of adults, but that was good. I got thrown out of multiple venues.
That makes sense.
I got ejected in Frankston, Diamond Creek, MSAC, Coburg Stadium many times, so that's always fun. Once I was playing, and I think it was the grand final. It was the grand final, and I rolled my ankle so hard that I tore my shoe, and kept playing. Yeah, kept playing.
How tough are you? Look at you, big up on yourself all the way from the other side of the country. I love it.
We won. I got the MVP. Just saying. So
I tell you where else you didn't back.
I'm basically a legend.
You are. I'm surprised your jersey wasn't hanging in the rafters.
Should have been.
Speaking about not backing down, we'll jump into the comment section here because you had a good exchange about, I think it was Socceroos. It was Socceroos, everything Socceroos related, where it turns into an argument on our thing. But a few days ago, big_fella jumped into the comment section on Instagram. He said, "You knuckleheads, do you understand the squad?" And we're talking about the Socceroos squad selection, of course, is made up of starting players and players that have potential to be starting players. Show me one previous coach who didn't pick some young players with talent to give them some exposure at that level. Full stop. FFS guys, which I think loosely translates to for F's sake. Which you replied under the guise of the budgie smugglers. So you've wrapped me in this as well. That big fella, think you're the knucklehead big fella who missed the point. The point being, you didn't give young players the spots in the squad so that they get exposure. So in essence, you agree with us, champ. So you champed him.
You champed him.
And then he sort of one day later, maybe off the booze, I think. Maybe he'd been on the gas the night before. He said 4 laughing, crying face emojis. No, I did hear that, but like I said, every coach before him did the same with young players. By the way, when I say knuckleheads, I say with affection, winky face, winky tongue out, cry face emoji. So he backed down pretty quick, Dools, didn't he? He was he called us knuckleheads, said FFS, and then all of a sudden we're best mates now, apparently. So shout out to big_fella.
I think it is hard when your handle is big fella, because that instantly, if you respond to that, it's going to sound condescending and aggressive anyway.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure that I really got my point across by adding champ in there.
Yes, I like that. Very good. Any other comments?
I copped a lot of hate about my take and your take, actually, as well. Our shared take that Kingstons are better than Monte Carlo.
I forgot about those. There was a lot of Monte Carlo support, which I couldn't believe.
I know. So I had Doc, DOC, slid into my DMs and commenting on the video. Monte Carlo, obviously, you're definitely going to cop flack for that. I get full packets of just Monte Carlos. Kingstons are great, but they're definitely not better.
I think the doc spends a lot of time with the doctors if he's eating whole packs of Monte Carlo on the reg.
I think he needs to, because he needs to get his head checked.
Yeah.
There.
We do like Doc.
We also had and Doc also commented on the post. So he's done the double where he's slid into
so he's DM'd.
And commented on the post. Dudes, I am absolutely gobsmacked you have gone Kingston over Monte Carlo. So that's...
I didn't even think this was a debate. I've never heard anyone on the Monte Carlo side of things.
Well, do you want to go to the next comment there? Because there was one you go. Quite... Jedhead2112, who's from Geelong, orange slice, which is wild, and then S.7251X. Firstly, get a better username. That is too difficult. In response to Sue's, orange slice biscuit is without a doubt the saddest invention in human history. It's poverty food, but without the poverty.
I've not seen this argument.
Have always been expensive in history.
If that's not the biggest nuffy battle royal in our comment section I've ever heard, orange slice.
But then later in on their own separate comment, S.7251X comments, number 1, Monte Carlo. Number 2, chocolate-filled thing.
That's Kingston. We explained that in the bloody...
Kingston, yeah. Number 3, the bland arrowroot. The rest are genuine dog shit. How do you put the arrowroot in the top 3?
I can't stand for that. because Nate Wells has gone chocolate Scotch finger, which I agree with. That's you
it
take that
wasn't
over an arrowroot.
an option in the packet, though.
I did mention that
Central Kingston, not even close.
Teddy bear's stiff. If you got who's taking an arrowroot over a teddy bear?
Who's just picking that in a top 3? Let's go the arrowroot. Are you joking?
And the same person said they're talking about tiny teddies. It's just wait, and they really got involved in this bloody conversation. I missed all of that. I did get a bit of a cold a few weeks ago when we released that, so I might have gassed out on that one. Also got some replies about the story of me falling off stage at the comedy show. Thank you for everyone that got involved there. Blaze White said it was well worth seeing. The only thing funnier was seeing him the next day with a walking stick. And then all the way from merry old England, Tom Stanamera said was the greatest night of my life. So don't worry, you'll lose your virginity one day, Tom, and then you'll be feeling much better about it. And
final one from the Matt Noble, who commented on the Gout clip.
Oh, yes.
A bee's dick laughing with tears face. Never heard that one before. So
obviously referring to how much he beat the record by, not by any other measure.
Yeah,
we were talking about a bee's dick.
This guy must be in America based on his profile and not knowing bees.
Yeah, he's obviously not Australian.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to all our listeners in America and whatnot. Should we get into this?
Yes, we do have some. We've got listeners in all sorts of places. We don't have any listeners in South America. That's the only continent where people aren't listening.
All right. How do you think maybe more soccer? Do we have any Australians? No Australians would play in the South American League, would they?
Not off the top of my head.
That would be a weird choice career-wise. What else did they have? There's an F1 race there's a bit going on in Mexico, I guess. I don't know.
We've got Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Well, we do have one of our early smugglers, Bruno, who, thank you, Bruno, always sends us updates and whatnot. He's Brazilian, so maybe he could just, I don't know if they have podcasts in Brazil or not, so I guess we'll, yeah, probably not. Or maybe we could get this translated into Portuguese.
Portuguese, yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I love it. All right. Oh, man. So much has happened in the last week and a bit since we last recorded, Dools. I want to kick things off with this huge news. We've been talking about it since day one on the pod. Guacamole Picklum wins the VIVO Rio in Saquarema, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Speaking of South America, finally her first win of the season. Even though she's had a lot of top threes, a lot of finals, and she has moved to the top of the World Championship rankings. Dools, how you feeling? Guacamole did it. She's on top. There's only 2 events left, or 1.5. She's doing very well in J-Bay in South Africa at the moment. I spent all Saturday watching those heats, but how you feeling that Guacamole finally got the camel off her back? No, monkey off her back. 2 humps on a camel. Molly Picklum.
Yes. Okay. I think this is going to be the win that bursts the damn doors open, and Molly is going to go on a tear, and she'll probably win at J-Bay, one of the iconic surf breaks, and I think she'll hold her spot at the top of the rankings.
You heard it here first on the Budgie Smugglers. I was stoked to see that Molly Picklum finally getting the monkey off her back for this season anyway, and getting her first win in Brazil, charging up the top of the rankings. I got another one here. Oscar Piastri, while you've been in WA, this was last weekend. We didn't talk about it last week. And now, obviously, thank you for everyone who listened to our Tyson Popplestone episode. Got a bit of good feedback from that one. Mostly is when did you record this? Why is the content so old? So thank you for that. Obviously, we need to clarify that at the front of the pod. But this was last weekend. Oscar Piastri got completely screwed over in Silverstone. Dools, did you see any of this?
No, but I have seen the movie Clueless starring Alicia Silverstone.
Yes, it was pretty much the exact same
Yeah.
thing. Basically, young Paul Rudd, Alicia Silverstone. But yes, he was given a 10-second time penalty for no good reason. Got on the brakes behind the safety car. A lot of debate across online and during the broadcast. At worst, should have been 5 seconds. Most people, well, a lot of people saying that he shouldn't have been penalised at all. And of course, he lost the race to his teammate Lando Norris by 5 seconds, meaning it cost him the victory. He still sits atop of the driver's standings, but now by only 8 points as we're heading towards the mid part of the season, Dool. So a lot of F1 fans, a lot of Oscar Piastri fans, pretty much everyone who follows racing in Australia, very upset by this 10-second penalty that Oscar Piastri got in Silverstone. The thing that bugged me, do you remember when, and we might have spoken about this as a reference before on the pod, remember that time Robert Whittaker was supposed to face Kevin Gastelum for the World UFC middleweight title? Yep. And sadly, Whittaker got injured the week of the fight or the days leading into the fight and had to pull out. And then Kevin Gastelum walked around with the title belt telling everyone he was the world champion. And then everyone made fun of him because he looked like a 3-year-old toddler that stole someone's present and was wearing it at their birthday party. And it was very embarrassing for him. And his career hasn't really recovered since because he hasn't done anything since then. Do you remember that,
Kevin Gastelum, he's forever. He's like burnt in my brain of that image of him like walking around with the suit trying to be like badass and controversial. And everyone's like, oh, little Kelvin, just chill out. Just, you're going to grow up one day, buddy.
And he never did. Well, that's what Lando Norris was like. He was crying. He's like, I finally won my Grand Prix, my home Grand Prix in England, carrying on like he's the best driver in the world. No, you won because your teammate got screwed over and the FIA is extraordinarily European favoured. And they look after their own in Europe. So, and they don't have much time for anyone outside of Europe. So really, racism, Dools. It's racism. It's white on white.
Australian bias.
Oh, it makes me sick, Dools. It makes me sick. As you mentioned, you've been all over the Gulf while you've been in Perth. What about this one?
This was huge in the car before I tuned out. The 99th ranked on the LPGA Grace Kim, amazing Grace Kim, became just the 5th Aussie woman to win a major at the 8 million Amundi Evian Championship at the Evian Resort Golf Club in Évian-les-Bains, France. Lots of Evian there, obviously the water company.
You did very well. You did very well to reach that out. But yes, Grace Kim, basically out of nowhere. I saw sort of highlights of her last round. Obviously, what would we say? Ranked not just barely scraped into the top 100 and came from the clouds with a couple of late great holes on the final day to get herself into a playoff and pulled it out of her ass basically and became just the 5th Aussie woman to win a majors, which is pretty huge.
Yeah, 2 Aussies in the top 3.
Yes, that's right. Our girl Minjee Lee now tied. She tied for 3rd and is now ranked 6th in the world as well. So Aussie girls doing it in the golf.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of Bible talk would have happened at the Genesis Scottish Open because Adam Scott came in the top 20. Adam Scott, 2 first names, Adam and Scott, in the top 20. So well done, Adam Scott.
All right. There's been 5 before. Well done, Adam Scott. I just wanted to note because obviously 5 Australian LPGA major winners, Dools. Can you name all 5?
Minjee Lee.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think that's correct.
Webb.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends. Harry Webb would have won a lot. surely.
Yeah, she
Won
won. She sits 7th all time on the women's list. So Kari Webb, Jan Stevenson, of course, in the 80s. Do you remember Jan Stevenson?
Oh, fantastic.
And Hannah Green are the other two, along with Grace Kim, Minjee Lee, and Kari Webb. So there you go. On to what's next. I'm surprised you didn't pick that up while you were in the car. This was good. Timeless Toni Storm has defeated Mercedes Mone, who you may remember as Sasha Banks. Remember Sasha Banks?
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's niece.
Cousin.
Snoop Dogg's cousin?
Niece?
Might be.
Niece or cousin?
Niece or cousin. Maybe I would go niece, but could be. But yeah, Timeless Toni Storm, Australia's Timeless Toni Storm, has beaten the former Sasha Banks to retain her women's championship at AEW's All In. AEW's All In, it's like AEW's WrestleMania duels. So it was a big part of the card, probably the most anticipated part of the card.
Easily.
I would have thought. So, yeah, huge win for our girl, Toni Storm. A lot of people were backing in Mercedes Mone, saying Sasha Franks to win. So, Sasha Franks?
Sasha Franks.
Sasha Franks. It is too. Sasha Franks. From Singapore.
Singapore or Malaysia or something?
English Singaporean Sasha Franks.
There you go. Is now a wrestler.
It sounds like a type of
sausage.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a bundle of hot dogs. It's like, can I get a 6-pack of Sasha Franks?
Can I get a Sasha of Franks?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the receptacle, you know.
Yeah.
And look, I think I predicted this at Wimbledon. Alex de Minaur goes out in the round of 16 against the Joker. I'm pretty sure I called that. If it wasn't round of 16, it was pretty close to that. Daria Kasatkina. Daria K was the best in the women's, just scraping it through to the third round. Isn't it finished now? It's finished now.
Yeah, it's finished now. I stopped paying attention once all the Aussies were out. I think Sinner won or the other one. What's going on with Australian tennis, Dools? Because I was thinking about, like, my entire life, we've always had someone legitimately in the mix, I would say, from sort of, I guess, Pat Cash in my lifetime anyway, over to
Pat
Rafter, and then we had Leighton Hewitt. There's been others along the way, and then
Ash Barty.
And then we had Ash Barty, of course. So we've always had someone in and around the top of the sport.
The
Woodies, yes. I've had the Woodies involved in my life since about 12, 13, I think, Dools. Just every morning I wake up with the doubles champions on my mind.
Oh, Todd. Oh, Mark.
Exactly. What's going on? Why don't we have anyone good at tennis anymore?
I think because the best tennis players for Australia are Russian. So yeah. I think the Australian method now is to just wait till there's some Russians who aren't the best in Russia but are unhappy being in Russia, and then they come to Australia.
Yeah,
I think maybe that's the problem
because they don't get a flag. You know, when you're watching the tennis. I don't know if you. I certainly don't.
Always. They don't have flags,
but they don't get the flag next to their name. So you're a little Australian flag, and then there's a Russian. They're like, no flag for you. And you're thinking they're like, oh, I hate how my name looks on the graphic. I want a flag next to my name. Yep. You think that's Australia Tennis's major plan? More flags?
Yeah, I think what Australia could do is go on a flag offensive in some of those countries where there's a little bit happening, or maybe they don't have nice looking flags. It's like, hey, come over here.
Yeah, maybe because we don't exactly have the most banging flag.
No, it looks like a lot of other flags.
It looks like a lot of other flags. Do you prefer the white of Australia? Wait, this question's coming out wrong. Or the red, or the red stars of New Zealand?
Oh, that sounds very like the red stars. Sounds very intense. I think the Australian flag should just be the boxing kangaroo.
Yeah, I'm on board for that. And I think
kangaroo.
New Zealand should just have the black with a silver fern. Yeah, boxing kangaroo would be pretty sick. the Russians wouldn't, because Russians love fighting. They love MMA. Have you seen, like, they'll have six midgets versus a 300-pound woman? Like, those kind of matches they have in Russia. Yeah.
They're doing all sorts of shit. The Dagestanis are wrestling bears.
Exactly. If we had boxing kangaroo, we might be able to turn our whole, particularly tennis situation around.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way you think. Or we could just... Why are our tennis players knobs as well now? They used to be awesome. Pat Rafter was the best.
Yeah, Pat Rafter was the best.
Ash Barty was absolutely the best.
Gone downhill. Leighton Hewitt, bit of a tool. So, I think that it's because it's such an individual sport.
Yeah.
And so they're like, ugh. Growing up, you'd turn on the news, they're always talking about the Davis Cup or the Hopman Cup and all that sort of stuff. You don't hear about that anymore. Yeah, that's exactly what they got to do, is bring them back.
Yeah. Who's your... Maybe we'll save that for another time. We'll get off tennis. We'll get on to this one, who we're claiming, because I think he lives in Australia, Shane van Gisbergen.
Yes.
He is
Gisbo.
Oh, SVG, baby. He's won his third NASCAR street race of the year, proving again that Americans can't turn right, Dools.
No.
What is going on? The American...
they can't do it.
Yeah, they can't turn right. What do these NASCAR drivers do at roundabouts? They must just get lost. They just go left. They just keep going around in circles.
Just driving in circles. That's what they do. That's why they're the best NASCAR racers, because they're great at driving around in circles. But as soon as there's like a turn, they're like, they can't do it.
Exactly.
Can't do it.
But it's been funny to see him just destroy everyone on these street races. It hasn't even been close. It's been quite embarrassing, actually.
Mm.
All right, what else we got?
Oh, the Tour de France was on, apparently.
Who cares? Here we go. I don't know anything about the Tour. Did you? I mean, could you? You're in a 17.
I didn't even know it was on.
Okay, there you go. You're in a 17-hour car ride in going through the WA desert. Could you think of anything worse to listen to than the audio commentary of a Tour de France?
My eyes got heavy just at the thought of that. So not into that.
Oh, my goodness. What about... get on to the next one. Get cooking, Dools.
So the Matildas have been playing some games. They've got a new coach and they've got a new system that they're working on. They haven't looked fantastic. They got a 3-2 win against Panama. Panama's ranked in the mid-50s globally. But I think the Matildas, they're bringing in some fresh talent. They're trying a new system. Joe Montemurro is going to be a very good coach for them. Just needs time. Let the man cook. And also, once he gets the full squad in, like Kerr, Carpenter, Catley, all the Jets, you'll see the Matildas do very, very well. He's a very good coach. He wins everywhere he goes, and he's building something. The Matildas have been sort of floundering. They're like, when you blow up a balloon, just let it go, and it's like, goes everywhere. That's what they've been like for the last couple of years. So getting Pep in there, it's going to be good for them.
I know nothing about soccer, as you know, but I do love to watch the Matildas and the Socceroos when they play. I've heard some commentary around the fact that this Joe fella, the new coach, who is as everyone says, a very, very good, talented, one of the best in the world. He has a very technical, possession-heavy style, which may not suit our what Australia's great at, which is our athleticism and our aggressiveness and our counter-attacking. Is there any validity in that train of thought?
It's going to be more challenging for him coaching a national team, because you're not with them, week in, week out, to implement that possession, pass-heavy style. But the players are professionals. They play in all the best leagues in the world. It'll just take a little bit for them to get used to the patterns and, where to run and where to pass, but they'll get there.
Love it. Love to hear it. How so you say we'll win the World Cup?
Pretty much, yeah.
Love it. I'll tell you who is a winner. Teenage sprint star, Goat.
More like Goat.
Goat. Teenage sprint star, Goat has won the under-23 200-meter final at the Diamond League meet in Monaco. He was on school holidays, Dools, and went over to Monaco just to win the under 2023. And also Olympians Jess Hull and Peter Bowl scored national records in their respective events. Australian athletics, we're on fire at the moment.
Crushing. We've got some real jets happening in there.
Mr. Kennedy, of course.
Yeah.
Love
Kennedy.
it. There it is. All right. What's next, Dools? Sorry, I forgot that was another Kennedy coming.
All right, we've got a couple of Aussies who are on UFC Fight Night. Lewis Teixeira, Junior Taffa, went down to a sub in the second round. Jake Matthews getting the boy from Epping. Hello, Jake, if you're watching. 1 minute standing rear naked choke. He's been in good form, 7-3 over the last 10. He looks refreshed. He looks regenerated. Young Jake, who's not young anymore, but he's starting to build a bit of momentum back up.
He's not young anymore. I remember he came on the scene very young, maybe early 20s. At one stage, he was one of the youngest fighters in the UFC. And he had his ups and downs, but I think he's hitting that right age where he should be at his best. Can you see our boy Jake Matthews from Epping make a run, a real fist of it, Dools?
I think so. I think if he gets another couple of wins and there's stoppages, I think if he gets 2 more, then he's going to start to be in that conversation.
Yeah.
He needs to get a bit higher up the rankings and become a top 10 fighter. But the way he's going, he's definitely going to be making some noise.
Love it. Great submission specialist, but can stand and throw as well.
And a bang.
Exactly. It's Dools. NBA Summer League's on. I don't suppose you get that in the car, right?
No.
There's 16
I know
Aussies.
there's a lot of Aussies.
16. 16's a lot. Let's run through them. At Atlanta Hawks, Jack McVeigh, obviously part of your Houston Rockets, is looking to sort of revive, get another shot in the NBA. If he doesn't, I'm sure he'll be back in the NBL or somewhere in Europe. And another former NBA player, Jack White, over at the
White Stripe.
No, his sister Meg is in the whatever the WNBL equivalent is over in Chicago. Lachlan Olbrich, who was drafted this year. William Davo Hickey. Lachlan Olbrich played the other day. Didn't do much. That's the theme across these summer league. It's hard in summer league, isn't it, Dills?
It's hard if you're a team player who, you might be the sort of player who really helps winning, but you don't like a one-on-one scorer. Summer League really leans toward being a good one-on-one scorer.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is William Hickey's nickname Davo?
It's a bizarre... I was thinking the same thing. Was there another William Hickey on his junior basketball team, do you think? And then we're just going to have to call you Davo?
Yeah, your dad's name's Dave. We're going to call you Davo. And the other William Hickey, Will.
Or do you think it might be pronounced Davo?
Maybe, yeah.
I'm going to quickly run through this because we don't really have much to talk about. And Proctor on the Cavs, he actually played quite a few minutes. He's looking good. Tyrell Harrison and Rain Smith, who's making it rain in Denver. And then we've got Alex Higgins Tashita for the Golden State Warriors, along with Alex Tui, who put up some minutes the other day. Didn't exactly kill it. But Taron Armstrong, who's signed a Summer League contract, I think, looked very, very capable at the level. Points, rebounds, assists, the whole thing. Furphy's back for Indiana, had a huge dunk the other day. Will Magnay's back in Memphis.
Back, we like that.
I like that a lot.
Big Will Davo Magnay.
Will Davo Magnay. And Rocco Zakarski.
So Freddie.
Love him. He's just such a big unit. He had a couple of big plays, but he only played a couple. I don't know why the Minnesota Timberwolves aren't playing him.
Bill, give him the minutes.
Exactly. I think they signed him to a 2-way contract, which is good. That means he's confirmed for the next season. Be spending a lot of time in the G League, I'd imagine. Bill Wiley Bales. I don't know who that is for the Knicks. Alex Dukas is still with the Oklahoma City Thunder, although he has signed a contract with the Brisbane, whoever they are. Are they the Bullets? Are they still the Bullets?
I think so.
It'd be awesome if he signed with the Brisbane Lions, though. Imagine that.
I'd love that.
NBA champion on the AFL champion. And then, of course, Akeldagak with the Washington Wizards. Tell you what, I had a lot of issues yesterday when I was court announcing for the Coburg Giants duels, just with name pronunciation. Have you seen the last name Shacky written down on a piece of paper?
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look like that's how it's pronounced.
I think I got a big laugh when I introduced young Sasha from. But a lot of wonderful, very talented Sudanese players who got the first name treatment and just skipped the F over their second names. But I tried my best, everyone.
Well done. Also
in basketball, Jules, Josh Giddey remains unsigned with the Chicago Bulls. Obviously, he's a restricted free agent, but there's no one. The only team that had cap space this summer was the Brooklyn Nets, and they'd used it on Michael Porter Jr. and Trey Mann. I think I don't know. They gacked it up. So there's no one competing. It's not like the good old days where someone would sign an offer sheet for way over the value, and then you'd either get that or the team would have to match it. Where we landing with Josh Giddey's free agency? His camp wants the same as Jalen Suggs at around $30 million.
So I think he'll end up staying at Chicago. I think that'd be silly not to run it back again, especially the way he played after the All-Star break, where he was on fire.
In fuego.
But there is a rumor that I have seen floating around that there could be a sign and trade with Golden State for the cum bucket, and that they'll sign him for a $30 million contract, which is what Giddey wants, and then they'll do a little trade there.
I have heard that rumor.
Jonathan Kuminga is the player who is referred to as the cum bucket. Which is
I was about to say, what's your mum doing signing with the Chicago Bulls? Sorry, couldn't help myself. But yes, I think Josh Giddey to the Golden State Warriors, that could work really well. I could see him fitting in to that sort of motion offense. He's the perfect kind of piece for that. His shooting numbers 38% last year. Not much off the dribble, but he has vastly improved in that area. There is some issues with these second aprons, though, Dools, where I think you can only sign up to 75% in a sign and trade in terms of salary. It gets very confusing. I'm not the one to explain it. Google it. But even if that is a possibility, it's very difficult to get done. But do you think that could potentially be an option? Do you like that option, I guess, is what I want to ask.
I think if Giddey went to the Warriors, imagine how easy it would be for the scorers that they've got there, having a player like Giddey who can pass the ball and make things happen out of nothing. So I think he'll stay, but if he was to go somewhere, what an option that would be.
I'd love that. So we're looking at a starting five of a backcourt of Steph Curry, Josh Giddey. Then on the wings, we're looking at Jimmy Butler and maybe Moses Moody. Or would we have to have Draymond? And then who would be the center?
The center's the tough one.
Looney's gone.
So I'm not sure who they'll go with at center, but they could play a small ball five and just blitz.
Interesting. Like it. I like the way you think. It would be a good five, that's for sure. Maybe they bring back James Wiseman on a minimum deal because that one worked really well.
Former second overall pick?
Something like that. Second pick. All right. Dools, do you have a top five for us?
Tell you what, I do have a top five. Now, we often get accused of talking about food a little bit too much on what should be exclusively a sport/Australian sport-based podcast.
This comes up
so
a lot
what
in
I've
my
decided to do is do a top five about food. This is my top five things I've eaten on tour so far.
Okay, let's go.
So, and I'm limiting this specifically to the touring part, not the gigs where I've been in Perth CBD, but just the bits where we've been on the road.
All right, I'll be interested to see if the non-cooked chicken parma makes the top 5 or not, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Coming in at number 5 was a chicken parmigiana from the Newman Hotel. This was good. It lost points. It would have been higher, but the parma was on top of the chips. Not into that. And it was needless as well because they serve the slaw in a cup. So they didn't need to, use all that real estate there. They could have separated that out there. That was at number 5. Number 4 was the pie that I had from a servo in Carnarvon yesterday. That was really good. It was nice and crispy underneath. Not one of those pies where it drops out. So we don't like that. That's not good. Coming in at number 3, lasagna topper. I had a couple of these. Lasagna topper, if you're unfamiliar with the lasagna topper, holy shit. It's basically a deep fried lasagna pocket. It's breadcrumbed, it's fried. It is fantastic. We love them. Coming in, what was that, number 3? Coming in at number 2. Number 2, we have the samosa from the Woburn truck stop.
So are we in we're obviously in Western Australia. Where in Western Australia are you where you ordered a samosa?
We are in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
A hotbed for Indian food.
You're in the desert, I guess.
There's nothing around, right? And you're at this servo, and the servo also sells curries and coffees. And it was like petrol, curries, coffees. That's what they do. It was great. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a coffee. And then I thought, I'll get a vegetable samosa. What could go wrong? And I tell you, nothing went wrong. Wow. It was fantastic. It was very good.
That makes me very happy to hear.
It was you can have it at any time of day. Good amount of spice. You can have it as a part of your breakfast. You can have it later in the day with lunch or with dinner. Love that. And coming in at number 1 was the homemade sausage rolls at the Nanatara truck stop. A lot of people said you got to try these sausage rolls. It's worth it, and they were right. It was absolutely, truly elite. Sauce. You love all that. My big bugbear when you're eating stuff from servos is, paying for sauce. So I don't like that. So whenever, somewhere throws in sauce for free, that gets a little bit of a bonus.
The people that have the nerve to charge for tomato sauce, I'm looking squarely at places like 7-Eleven, the servos. What are you guys doing?
Yep. The bottom 3, I'll give you the bottom 3.
Obviously,
number 1 was the chicken parma from the, I can't even remember what the name of the pub. I think it was the Commercial Hotel, maybe, in Mount Magnet.
Okay.
The servo at Mika Thara. Nothing. There's not a lot of options there. We need more options when we're on the road. We need more options. And then also the dim sims from Q. Were not very good.
How'd they stuff up dim sims?
They were just a bit warm, not hot enough.
Yeah, okay. Steamed or fried?
Fried.
Okay.
Fried.
Do better.
So, not good. Yeah, do better. That's my top 5s.
All right. Love that. Speaking about top, I cannot wait to get stuck into this week's power rankings, Dools. Got a top 10 here. I was just looking through it. Here's some stats about our power rankings. There's only 2 people in the power rankings now that were in the power rankings when we first started doing them 20 plus weeks ago. We have had 75 different people filter through the power rankings in just 20 weeks, which is amazing.
Wow.
Very, very exciting. So it chops and it changes. I'll be interested to hear, obviously, what you don't know what these power rankings are each week. So let's get stuck into this week's All Aussie athlete power rankings. I forgot what we called it. Coming in at number 2, he had a standing rear naked choke first round, 1 minute in victory. Something you very, very rarely see is a submission in the first minute, and something you also very rarely see is a standing rear naked choke. So all the way from Epping. At number 10, it's Jake Matthews. Yeah, thank you for the applause from the other side of the country. At number 9, he's on fire. He wins everywhere he goes. He's on school holidays. It's Gout. After winning Goat. After winning the gold in the under-23 World Championships, he's on fire. At number 8, she's ranked 6th in the world. I'll do that again. She's ranked 6th in the world after coming 3rd at the major on the weekend. Her brother shares half her name. It is Minjee Lee Dools at number 8. At number 7, we're claiming him. Stuff off New Zealand. He has won. Anytime a NASCAR has to turn left, this guy ends up top of the podium. It's Shane Van Gisbergen in the NASCAR overseas. At number in 6th spot, it's a pretty good top 10, right, Dools? In the 6th spot, she was a big part of the recent all-in pay-per-view beating Mone or whatever, and Sasha Banks anyway. At number 6, it's timeless Toni Storm, Dools. At number 5, it's hard to kick these guys out of the top 5 considering he's a reigning world featherweight champion. Alexander the Great Volkanovski, still a world champion. He's still in the news. He's always keeping himself relevant, whether it's cooking or doing stuff with sports bet. But Alex Volkanovski, 5th in the world, in 4th in the power rankings. His compatriot in the same sport, I've got JDM Jack Della Maddalena at number 4th in the All Australian Aussie power rankings. It's hard to kick them any lower, Dools. It's hard to kick them out. When you're a reigning world champion at something and you're, semi-active, it's not like Jordan Mailata where he is a reigning world champion, but they're not really playing at the moment. So I don't know how to compare those two things, but it's very hard. The pinnacle of the sport, one of the most popular sports in the world, to be the reigning champion. It's hard to kick him out of the top 5.
Look, I get your reasoning. They also haven't fought this week. So.
That's true. But who are the most powerful Australian athletes? Is there that maybe they're undervalued here? You can go up, down, or lower.
When they fight, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Speaking about fighting, surprised to find this person all the way down in 3rd, but it was hard to get them any higher. Obviously, after sadly getting screwed out of top place in Silverstone last weekend, it is the world title leading McLaren driver Oscar Piastri in 3rd place, Dools.
Yep, well done.
Number 2. This was the toughest one for me, actually. I actually feel bad because this was their moment. I think if we didn't have a week off, she probably would have been top number 1, but she's been pipped at the end. At number 2, she's leading the World Surf League Championship at the moment. She's kicking butt at J-Bay in South Africa. It's our girl, Molly Guacamole Picklum, at 2nd in the power rankings. I see you looking on astutely, like how can she not be number 1? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, I mean, I'll let me just wait and see who number 1 is before I comment. But I do have thoughts. At number 1, be a good number 1.
It's a good number 1 because there's only ever been, I believe, if I look back at my notes, five. There's only been 5 other people to do this accomplishment. So the 5th person ever to win a major in the LPGA Tour this week, just yesterday, it's Grace Kim, number 1 on the power rankings. Can't really go past a major in a major sport. So that's our power rankings. Grace Kim, Molly Picklum, Oscar Piastri, JDM, the great, timeless Toni Storm, SVG, Minjee Lee, Gout, and Jake Matthews. What are your thoughts, Stills?
I would have swapped Guacamole and Grace Kim around because Molly Picklum not just won the event, but he's leading the whole championship. Whereas, Grace Kim had a good couple of days, and then that was it. Where's she been for the rest of it? That's my
What have you done for me lately, Grace Kim? It's fair enough, and I thought the same thing. But the prestige of if it was any other golf event, Molly's number one. But the fact that it was a very prestigious major championship, like the golf equivalent of a Wimbledon, for example, that just had to. And the fact that only 5 people had done it before, many of our Aussie female surfers have won many world titles. So Taylor Wright, Steph Gilmore. So that's what I had to do.
Mm-hmm. I see. What are you on for the week?
Oh, I've got a pretty packed week, Dools. Tonight I'll be performing at a sold-out show for the St Kilda Comedy Festival at the St Kilda RSL, which I'm very excited for. And then on Thursday, I'll be in Barwon Heads with Richard Stubbs for a show there. Friday night, I think I'm in Newport with Dilrook on a show with Dilrook. So that's very exciting. And then Saturday night, I'm at a hockey club somewhere with the Wainwrights. Katie and Chris.
Oh, Wainhouse.
Wainhouse. Sorry, I was Wayne wrong on that one. Sorry, thinking of Rufus Wainwright with the Wainhouses. So I got a couple of. I'm really excited for this week. I got 4 really exciting gigs before.
Good gigs this week. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm excited for those, and of course on Sunday you can find me at the Coburg basketball court. Stadium, because I'll be calling a few more 4 games. So I got a pretty packed, and I'm seeing my only night off this week. I'm going to see Superman. So just jam packed. What about you, Dools? I know you got a big one last week in Perth, in WA.
Yes, the main gigs are Tuesday night. Playing at ECC, Experimental Comedy Club.
Oh yeah, I saw that. So what's the thing with the bell? I only just briefly saw it this morning.
So each week they will, throw a different thing in there for the comedians. I'm hosting it this week. So at different points, a bell will ring and the comedians on stage then have to do crowd work, I think it is, for the show this week. So it's a pretty strong lineup. It's a great gig. It's always packed out on a Tuesday night. So
love that.
If there's tickets left, I'd snap them up quick. And then this weekend, I'll be on at the Comedy Lounge in Perth, the biggest and best club in town. So I'll be there all weekend. I have no idea who else is on the lineup. I think maybe John Lynn from Ireland is headlining. So that'll be great. Really looking forward to that. And then looking forward to getting back home on Sunday.
Lovely. And we'll be back here, I guess, on Monday next week, recording another pod.
Yeah.
How exciting.
Yeah.
All right.
Back in town.
Anything else, Dools?
Nah, all good, mate.
All good.
You have a good one.
Very good to catch up. We will see you all next week, smugglers.
Stay up.
Bye.